So right now we have group 3 and 4 is the group out, which is coming to our recording, our Shure 6, which is right here. The Shure 6, so if you push this all the way up, and let's see what it sounds like all the way up, because that'll get more gain. And then I'll do another test here, so we'll watch this.
Your computer's gonna be a little mad at me for a second. I just disabled it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See where you are capping out? We're in the red. I'm gonna put a
So if you wanna
1, 1, 2, 1, 2. No, I can't get it down. It's too high now. See, I've got a solid.
visually select which channels to come into 3.4. So right now, you want to make sure the PC is coming to 3.4.
Yeah.
And that way, being that you have level control there, we don't want to hinder. We don't want to like take 80% of 80% of 80%. We want to make sure we're sending you everything so you can make that
Correct. So I can
at
adjust
your
it down.
point. Yeah.
You don't want it to the point where the best.
So for Zoom, with our console and what we do, we use a USB audio out, which this particular Yamaha board does really well. And when you do that, it goes out via the stereo. So we typically don't use the stereo out for our house in the room audio. We use a group out, so that way this can be dedicated to Zoom. And then we'll set the level to full, because that way everything is going into the Zoom, and as a viewer outside the room, you can set the level accordingly for that person. So it's less, it's just less management on this side and more on the outside.
So one quick question. If we were to both Zoom as well as do presentations, you would just
I would literally, it would be running that cable, which we only have a scant few of them, to your computer, and we would set it up on the computer, whether Mac or PC. Say our audio in is going to be line, I forget what it calls itself, but the USB 2 device, and then the audio out would be either the 1/8" XLR, or excuse me, 1/8" audio jack, headphone jack, if you will, and then HDMI for video.
So this right here was inside of the podium, and it's an HDMI. What is it?
It essentially converts HDMI to a proprietary digital signal and stream
That you guys use
that we use.
in the system.
So not everything in Atlantis, and honestly, a lot, the Peppermill and the other casinos in town, not every device uses this particular setup, but a good majority of them use this type of device from this manufacturer, something very similar. That box alone costs $2,000.
Oh, jeez. I'm buying a Switch.
Specifically offhand, I think they're 4,200, but
42, they're full spectrum, of course, right?
yeah, they're full spectrum. I just don't know their color temperature offhand. I mean, if we were doing a big event, like a huge event, and I was using these track lights, I would honestly use both warm and cool, because that's how you get the best look
Oh, yeah.
stage and video. I mean, the ideal color temperature really depends on the video. So group on all of these, any of these channels, group 1 and 2 is currently set to the room audio,
Okay.
which you shouldn't have to adjust. Group 2 and 3, or excuse me, pardon me. Group 3 and 4 is set to this right here, and that is your recorder's audio.
Right.
And then I don't think we'll use it, but the main stereo output is currently set to the USB device that's run to the podium.
Okay.
If the computer at the podium needed to receive audio digitally from the console.